Vast. Very big. The mountains are greatly vast. The vast majority of voters do not want him to get re-elected. She has a vast knowledge in that area. They have a vast amount of organic products.
Vegetable. Food from plants. People should eat more leafy vegetables. My children only eat raw vegetables. She cooks with fresh vegetables. Many people are now buying organic vegetables. Do you like spring vegetables? We grow our own vegetables. They do not eat enough vegetables. I chop all of the vegetables before cooking. Do you cook your vegetables? Make sure you wash raw vegetables. Vegetables contain lots of nutrients. I have a vegetable garden in my backyard. I use vegetable oil for frying. I need a vegetable peeler. Do you like vegetable soup?
Abuse. Bad treatment of someone or something, or use of something in a bad way. He has experienced physical abuse. The police work to prevent abuse. People are asked to report abuse. He committed abuse. Abuse takes place everywhere. She is an abuse victim. He has a problem with alcohol abuse.
Abuse. To treat someone or something badly. He physically abuses her. They have been badly abusing the dog. Administration. The process of planning or organizing activities in a company, business, school, or government. Things didn't work out because of poor administration. I work in business administration. There is a clear problem with the justice administration. We expect positive change from an efficient administration. I work in the administration building. Do you have an administration degree? There is a small administration fee. There are not many administration jobs right now.
Appeal. A request for a decision to be changed. Quality that makes something interesting. That house has great appeal. Classic books have lasting appeal. This car has little appeal, but it's all I can afford. The movie was successful because it had widespread appeal. She has great sexual appeal. He made a desperate appeal to the court judge. The prisoner filed a legal appeal to have a new trial. Van Gogh's paintings have much appeal. Nice clothes and makeup can boost a person's appeal. We made a direct appeal to the judge. Her appeal are her eyes. They won their appeal. The judge allowed a new appeal.
Appeal. To make a request for a decision to be changed, to attract or make something or someone interested. I will directly appeal to the governor for help. I successfully appealed for a new trial. Teaching strongly appeals to me. These shoes appeal mainly to athletes. He appealed to the court for a new trial.
Appreciate. To understand. To be thankful. To go up in value. We totally appreciate your concerns. She particularly appreciates classical music. We greatly appreciate your help. We failed to appreciate the difficulties of that job. The house appreciated in value. I appreciate your concern.
Aspect. a specific part or feature of something. Studying is an important aspect of school. An attractive aspect of this apartment is the view. This is the controversial aspect of the story. We're studying the environmental aspects of this issue. This problem has several aspects. We need to address all aspects. We cannot ignore this aspect.
Attitude. The way you feel about someone or something. She has a carefree attitude. They had a favorable attitude toward the change. We're upset by his negative attitude. His success has given him an arrogant attitude. The parents have a relaxed attitude with their kids. They adopt a positive attitude. He displays a carefree attitude. Racist attitudes still exist in some parts of the country. We need to change the attitudes of the people. She has a terrible attitude problem. He is in need of a serious attitude adjustment. She needs to change her attitude about life. His attitude toward his parents is unhealthy. Beat. The rhythmic sound of music or the heart. The radio played a hip-hop beat. I have difficulty clapping to the rhythmic beat. Can you feel my heartbeat? My heart is making a pounding beat. Everyone was clapping to the beat. We could feel the beat.
Beat. To defeat, to hit, to move with rhythm. They easily beat the other team. She divorced her ex-husband because he badly beat her. He consistently beat him in every tournament. His heart is beating fast. She was frantically beating on her neighbor's door. She beat the drums loudly. You must beat the eggs thoroughly. My brother always beats me at basketball. We were beaten by the other team. He was beaten with a baseball bat.
Burn. Damage or injury caused by heat or fire. She suffered a horrific burn from the fire. It hurts, but it's only a minor burn. He's being treated for a first-degree burn. I suffered a burn from the campfire. The sun caused this burn on my skin. The firefighters died from their burns. He has a burn mark on his skin. She is a burn victim. We're taking them to the burn center.
Burn. To damage or injure by heat or fire. To make heat or fire. She was badly burned in the fire. The house was completely burned down. The building burned down. The forest fire is burning fiercely. The sun burns brightly.
Chart. Something that shows information in the form of a table, graph, or diagram. A map. A ranking of popular music. All of the data is in the attached chart. His presentation included a pie chart. The doctor is looking at your medical chart. Can you read nautical charts? The singer made it to the top of the pop charts. This chart illustrates an increase in sales. Her album entered the charts at number 1. Their music is climbing the charts. You can find all of the information in the chart.
Chart. To create a map. To track progress. The explorer charted the entire journey. Make sure you chart your progress. Compare. To see if 2 or more things are similar or different from each other. This restaurant compares well with other places in the city. She will closely compare the 2 houses. She is constantly comparing her two children. I can easily compare the two paintings and figure out which one is authentic. I never compare my two daughters. There are no basketball players that can compare with Michael Jordan. I always compare my mother-in-law to my own mother.
Deposit. Money added to a bank account. Money that is given as part of the first payment of something. Money that is given as a promise to pay for something. She made a cash deposit into her checking account. The deposit is refundable. The apartment requires a security deposit. She will make a cash deposit. He will pay the deposit on the house. You must give a deposit to hold the apartment. Does the house require a deposit? We may lose our deposit. You must put down a deposit on the car.
Deposit. To add money to a bank account. She will deposit the check today.
Equally, in the same way. Their behavior was equally bad. He is equally popular as his brother. The backup plan ended up being equally effective. They are equally responsible for the crime. These two tasks are equally important. The sequel was equally as exciting as the first movie. The new engine is equally powerful. The rules equally apply to all students. They will equally distribute the food. We all contributed equally to the win. They participated equally in the project. He always treated people equally. She spaced the chairs equally around the room. The students will benefit equally from the policy.
Foreign. Coming from a different country. Not familiar. This concept seems so foreign to me. The new neighbor is foreign. He has a slightly foreign accent. This food is very foreign to me. I have never been to a foreign country. She works in foreign affairs. The company has foreign customers. He transferred to a foreign branch of the company. They are concerned about foreign influences in the election. They are looking into his foreign assets. She uses different teaching methods with foreign students. He works at a foreign embassy. We see a lot of foreign visitors in this area. They are planning a foreign adventure. The sample was contaminated by a foreign substance. They are concerned about foreign competition. The foreign market is competitive. The government is worried about foreign terrorists. We are working with the foreign army. The foreign press has been very critical of the policy. She is interested in foreign films. He speaks with a slightly foreign accent. Gear. The part that controls the forward or backward movement of a car. Equipment or clothes of a specific activity. She put her car into low gear. He shifted into first gear. They went shopping for camping gear. Make sure you wear protective gear. The landing gear is stuck. She's still learning to change gears. He put the car into first gear. They have on special gear for severe weather conditions. I should put on my hiking gear before we go. She has to get the gear shift repaired. The car was in first gear.
Gear. To make something suitable for a specific use. The program is primarily geared toward children.
Greatly. By a large amount. Very much. He was greatly amused by her behavior. She is greatly indebted to him. They are greatly interested in science. This plan is greatly superior over the previous one. He is greatly admired in the medical profession. They greatly increased the membership fee. We were greatly affected by his death. He greatly appreciates the help he has received. The problem has been greatly exaggerated. The numbers fluctuate greatly. The program has been greatly expanded. This change greatly improved the plan. The benefits greatly outweigh the risks. He has greatly influenced me. His reaction surprised me greatly.
Hungry. Feeling that you want to eat. Wanting food. He feels hungry. Many people went hungry during the war. The smell in the kitchen is making me hungry. They were extremely hungry after all that work. He is always hungry. I'm a little hungry. Ideal. A person or thing regarded as perfect, the standard of perfection. We expect high ideals from our leaders. He has a traditional ideal of marriage. You and I have very different ethical ideals. Her father does not agree with her liberal ideals. His parents are committed to the old ideals. My wife and I share the same ideals. A reporter must strive for the ideals of truth. The religious leader was accused of betraying his moral ideals. Your words and actions should reflect your ideals.
Ideal. Perfect. The large house makes it ideal for their growing family. I consider our neighborhood ideal to raise a family. That church is an absolutely ideal location for a wedding. Her work schedule is practically ideal for a single mom. The classroom setting was ideal for learning. She is an ideal candidate for the job. The hotel provided the ideal conditions for an outdoor wedding. He was offered an ideal opportunity to display his talent.
Imagine. To form a mental picture or image in one's mind. I could clearly imagine being on the beach. I could hardly imagine living in a different place. I always imagined him becoming a doctor. I can't actually imagine having children. She was simply imagining things. They tried to imagine what she went through. I began to imagine what life would be like without him. I can imagine what she was thinking.
Kitchen. An area where food is prepared and cooked. She has a spotless kitchen. They have a shared kitchen with 4 other roommates. He installed a new kitchen sink. She needs to replace her kitchen utensils. We are staying in a cabin with a kitchen facility. He is part of the kitchen staff. You can find more food in the kitchen. Land. To return to the ground after a flight. To fall or return to the ground. The plane landed safely. She landed awkwardly and injured her hip. The dancer landed gracefully into her partner's arms. The plane is about to land soon. The plane was forced to land in a field. The pilot managed to land the plane safely. We are due to land at 10 a.m. She fell and landed on her back.
Land. The surface of the earth. Ground. After 7 days on a cruise, it was good to be on dry land. This is good land for farming. Nothing can grow in this dry land. This is private land. They used the empty land to play soccer. The explorers reached land after a long voyage. He bought land as an investment. They were trying to sell their land. She inherited land from her grandfather. It's impossible to reach the island by land. Some animals can live on land and in water. My father invested money for land development. There has been an ongoing land dispute between the two neighbors.
Log. A large piece of wood that has been cut from or has fallen off a tree. A regular record of time or observations. They have a large pile of cut logs. We all sat around the burning logs. Floating logs began to block the dam. The manager wanted a detailed log of his work. His phone log became important evidence. We spent all day splitting logs. He added another log to the fire. He tossed more logs on the fire. Dry logs burn much better. She kept a log of their travels. He updated his work log. They built a log cabin in the mountains. I had to complete the logbook.
Lost. Unable to find the way. Unable to be found. We got lost in the woods. I feel lost without my cell phone. By evening time, they were completely lost. He looked rather lost and lonely in the crowd. She was walking around with a lost expression on her face. We regret the lost opportunity. Archaeologists discovered a lost world. We gave up because it was a lost cause. Did they ever find the lost child? They recovered the lost ship.
Manage. To be in charge of a business or company, to be able to do something difficult. I am not able to manage without your help. We can manage without them. She manages the store by herself. It is my job to manage the estate. He managed the campaign for a full year. Can you manage the workload? She successfully managed to keep her business from failing. We managed perfectly well under the circumstances. We barely managed to get by. We finally managed to pay off the loan. The business was managed well by two experienced partners. They carefully manage their finances. Will you be able to manage without me? We can't manage on just one income. Manufacturer.
Mother. Mom. She resembles her mother. She inherited her cooking skills from her mother. She has a surrogate mother. I am your birth mother. She was a teen mother. My mother is unmarried. I was raised by a devoted mother. She is a first-time mother. I am a stay-at-home mother.
Necessarily, in a way that cannot be changed or avoided, has to be. That is not necessarily true. You are not necessarily right. The measurements were not necessarily accurate. She is not necessarily involved, but knows something. She didn't necessarily say she was guilty, but she implied it.
Net. The Internet, a type of material that is made of many strings or wires that are tied together with holes in between. I surfed the Internet all evening. I spread out the fishing net. We have a couple of butterfly nets. He caught many fish with his fishing net. He hit the tennis ball over the net.
Net. After all charges and deductions are taken out. The final and total amount. How much is the billionaire's net worth? The company increased its net earnings last quarter. What is the net result?
Party. A fun social event, a political group, a group of people doing something together. We are throwing a big party this weekend. We are invited to a birthday party. They ruined the surprise party. The political party was established 10 years ago. She belongs to a political party. I hope you can come to my birthday party tonight. The wedding party will be arriving soon. The Democratic Party expects to win the upcoming election. Each political party is sending a representative to the Capitol. They counted the number of party guests. What is your party affiliation? They handed out hats as party favors. All of the party members gathered in the hall to vote for a new leader. We had a few drinks at the party. I'm having a surprise party for my husband. Personality. The qualities of a person that makes him or her different from another person. He has a great personality. She has developed a unique personality. Her childhood shaped her personality. Her clothes reflects her outgoing personality. He lacks any real personality. Her clothes do not match her personality. There are lots of different personality types. There is a personality clash with two people at work. Children go through different personality changes. A personality profile is part of the application process. She has an easygoing personality. My friend has a unique personality. He seems to have multiple personalities at times. Her addictive personality makes it hard for her to maintain friendships.
Personally. By a particular person and no one else, directly without help. He personally recommended this restaurant. I personally oversee the work at this factory. The president personally thanked him for his service. I will personally guarantee your safety. You can contact me personally at this email address. She has personally experienced poverty. That man is personally responsible for what happened. I am personally opposed to the new plan. Practical. Useful. Realistic. Sensible. She is very practical. The plan didn't seem practical. My friend is not a very practical person. Let me give you some practical advice. This theory has no practical use. Is there a practical alternative? He doesn't have any practical skills.
Principle. A basic rule or law. A belief that helps one decide what is right or wrong and influences one's actions. The basic principle of economics is supply and demand. One of the core principles of life is happiness. People's rights are the founding principles of this country. She returned the lost money because of her moral principles. The hotel embraces the principles of environmentally friendly living. She sticks to her principles, even under pressure. Cheating violates her moral principles. He abandoned his principles and cheated on the test. Living together before marriage is against her principles. She argued her side on principle.
Print. Letters or words that are put on paper. Many people do not read the fine print of a contract. My grandfather orders books in large print. His name was in clear print on the front of the newspaper. I always read the fine print of all documents before signing. The print ad took one whole page of the newspaper. Online editions are becoming more popular than print editions. Encyclopedias are no longer in print. The classic book is out of print.
Print. To put letters or words on paper. To produce books, newspapers, or magazines. Please print your name legibly on the application. Her poem was beautifully printed on decorative paper. The wedding invitations were badly printed. They had T-shirts specially printed with the winning team's logo. Most pictures are now digitally printed from computers. Please print your information in black ink. Pictures can be printed from digital cameras. His business cards were printed on cheap paper. Please print your answer in the space provided. He printed the document for his records. Psychological. Having to do with the mind. Her worries are purely psychological. Fear is a psychological condition. She suffers from psychological problems. He suffered from psychological abuse as a child. He was given a psychological assessment before returning to the military. She has the psychological characteristics of a sociopath. She is receiving psychological counseling. We are studying many psychological disorders in class. Is there a psychological explanation for his behavior? She has psychological problems from years of child abuse.
Psychology. Study of the mind. He earned a psychology degree in 1979. He is a psychology professor. He works in the psychology department. He studies developmental psychology. She has a degree in psychology. He is a doctor of psychology. She is studying psychology in college. He works in psychology. Do you understand the psychology of addiction?
Raise. To lift something up, to increase, to take care of children or young animals until they are grown, to try to make money for something needed or charity. You need to raise your grades. He raised his hand to ask a question. We raised our cups for a toast. They raised my credit card limit. He raised his eyebrow at the thought. They raised the prices. She raised the subject again. Don't raise your voice around the children. I raised the temperature a few degrees. We raised chickens on our farm. She stayed at home to raise her children. Eating fatty foods will raise your cholesterol. We are trying to raise money for charity.
Raise. Pay increase. My boss gave me a raise. I got a raise last week. I deserve a pay raise. Rarely. Not often. We rarely use that room. This type of thing rarely occurs. She rarely visits me. He rarely cries. He rarely appears outside of his home. We rarely mention her anymore. The car is rarely used. She is rarely happy.
Recommendation. A suggestion. My teacher made a recommendation for a good tutor. The committee issued several recommendations. We followed his recommendations. They ignored my recommendation. Let's discuss their recommendations. This dentist came with strong recommendations. She wrote me a recommendation letter. The hotel received a good recommendation. He comes with the highest recommendation. I gave them a personal recommendation. My recommendations are based on experience. I have several recommendations for him. We went there at his recommendation.
Regularly. Often. On a steady basis. I service my car regularly. We travel together regularly. The animals are tested regularly for illness. I use my phone regularly. This kind of thing occurs regularly. I try to pray regularly. I commute there regularly. We attend school regularly. She updates her blog regularly. We meet regularly. The athletes practice regularly.
Relative. Compared to others. She is a relative stranger to our family. Our country has a relative abundance. He has a relative advantage with his height. It was done with relative ease. I live in relative comfort.
Relative. A family member. She lives with her relatives. I found my relatives during the earthquake. I was looked after by my relatives. I have relatives all over the world. The police contacted the relatives of the victims. We are blood relatives. I have many elderly relatives. My mom has more female relatives on her side. It was exciting to meet my long-lost relative. Response. An answer. I awaited his response. He posted an official response on his website. I predict a slow response from them. She showed very little response to the medication. Don't try to influence his response. She got a written response. What do you think the public response will be? The film received a lukewarm response. We did not get an immediate response from him. She never got a direct response. What is the response time to emergency calls? In response to your question, I have no answer. I got a response from him last week.
Sale. The act of selling something, an occasion when products are sold at a lower price. The house is priced for a quick sale. The store is having a large sale. Let's have a garage sale. We are looking forward to their summer sale. Our garage sale made $600. The family is trying to block the sale of their grandfather's property. The sale ended in March. That company will try to improve sales. What is the sale price? He bought it at the spring sale. My house is for sale. The shoes are finally on sale.
Season. A part of the year when something happens. One of the 4 parts of the year that usually has a change in the weather. We arrived during the rainy season. I enjoy the summer season most. This holiday season will be good for business. Johnny loves basketball season. Sailing season will open in July. Fishing season ended in September. Watermelons are in season. We are entering a wet season. They have season tickets to the theater. The rival teams played against each other in the season opener.
Selection. The act of choosing something from a group of things. People will be chosen by random selection. The judges made their final selection. There is a wide selection of shoes at this store. We were not impressed by their limited selection of food. The restaurant has an excellent selection of fine wines. Please make a selection soon. The restaurant offers a wide selection of seafood. His selection was based on outside influences. You'll find a great selection of shoes here. We have to follow the selection process. The judges were criticized for selection bias. We are part of the selection committee. He is on the selection committee for a new manager. The store has a huge selection of furniture.
Severe. Very bad. Serious. Painful. Harsh. His injury looks severe. The weather grew very severe. We had an extremely severe winter. The wind has gotten increasingly severe. George has severe allergies. We witnessed severe weather in Alaska. The patient experienced severe bleeding. She has a severe disability. Signal. Something that sends information or a message. We received a clear signal. He was giving mixed signals to his ex-girlfriend. We were startled by the warning signal. The baseball pitcher gave the catcher a hand signal. I called him, but I got a busy signal. She gives mixed signals. The employees learned to pick up visual signals. The nurse tried to read the signals from the patient. This signal indicates danger. The police officer made a signal for her to pull over. We waited for the signal from the captain.
Signal. To make a sound or motion that tells someone something, to show or mark. She was signaling frantically to the police officer. The truce clearly signals the end of the war. I tried to signal to them. The hug appears to signal the end of their fight. The speech was intended to signal a change in policy. The bells are signaling their approach. His new job signals a new beginning.
Similarly, in almost the same way, the shoes are priced similarly. Tom and John behave similarly. The girls are expected to dress similarly. All students respond similarly. These tables are similarly shaped. The houses are similarly large.
Sleep. To close your eyes and have your body go into a natural state of rest. I hope my baby sleeps well tonight. My mom yelled at me for sleeping so late. She slept deeply after working all day. I hardly slept last night. She can't sleep alone. I was so tired, but I couldn't sleep. Let's try to sleep early tonight. She tried everything to put her baby to sleep. He only slept for 3 hours last night. He slept right through the fire alarm. My daughter always sleeps with her doll.
Sleep, a natural state of unconsciousness where your eyes are closed and your body is resting. I got some deep sleep last night. She woke up after a good sleep. She says she needs her beauty sleep. She fell back to sleep after turning her alarm clock off. We're leaving early in the morning, so try to get some sleep. I desperately need some sleep now. Hope you have a good sleep. How can he survive on just a few hours of sleep a night? New mothers always struggle with sleep deprivation. He struggles with sleep disorder. I'm trying to figure out my baby's sleep cycle. He snores during his sleep.
Smooth. Having a flat, even surface, without bumps, without any problems. Her skin feels very smooth. My skin became smooth after putting on lots of lotion. He made the wooden surface smooth with sandpaper. The wooden table was sanded smooth. Everyone was envious of her beautifully smooth complexion. The event went surprisingly smooth. The interview process didn't go entirely smooth. Make sure you have a smooth batter. She has smooth cheeks. His face is very smooth. It was a smooth operation.
Smooth. To make something flat and without bumps. She gently smoothed out the wrinkles on her silk shirt. She used a hair gel to smooth out her hair.
Somewhere. At a place that is not known or named. His clues led us somewhere. She hid the presents somewhere. He went somewhere. It has to be somewhere around here. My cousin lives somewhere in California. Haven't I seen you somewhere before? Let's go somewhere else. I know it's somewhere around here. We'll find it somewhere.
Somewhere. A place that is not known or named. I know the perfect somewhere to have dinner. I am trying to find somewhere to put my glasses. Spirit. The inner nature of a person's energy, attitude. We will miss her generous spirit. She was a guiding spirit in my early years. My father has a proud spirit. Conflict is a true test of the human spirit. You have the right spirit. This loss has dampened the team's spirit. We sang songs to lift our spirits. Even with cancer, she is full of fighting spirit. The song really captures their spirit. She has the right spirit. Your grandmother will always be with you in spirit. She sang with great spirit. He always had a spirit of adventure.
Storage. A place where things are put away until they are needed. He had a safe storage for his hunting rifle. We need long-term storage for our furniture. They built a food storage in case of emergency. We need to take our things out of storage. These small rooms are used for storage. She puts blueberries in cold storage for months. My husband is building a storage room. We need a bigger storage area. She bought some storage containers for cereal. All of our furniture is currently in storage.
Street. A public road in a city or town. They live on a busy street. We drove through a deserted street. The city is known to have clean streets. We couldn't get through the flooded street. I took the wrong street. He told me to take the first street on the right. She has to cross the street to go home. The police blocked the street. We decided to walk down the street. People packed the streets to watch the parade. There are bars on every street corner. The city has become famous for street attacks. I couldn't see the street sign in the rain. We saw lots of street performers in New York. The street lamps were all out. Do you see the sign across the street? We walked along the narrow street. The store is just up the street from me. We used to live on the same street. The kids were playing in the street.
Suitable. right or appropriate for a particular purpose or occasion. The exercise video is especially suitable for beginners. The table is perfectly suitable for 8 guests. The playground is quite suitable for young children. Her clothing is not really suitable for work. The movie is suitable for young children. They make music suitable for children. We find the accommodations suitable for guests. The organization provides suitable drinking water to poor countries. The television show is not suitable for young children. Some websites are suitable as learning tools. Her living conditions are not suitable to her growth. The hotel provided suitable accommodations for the wedding party. Can you provide a suitable alternative? We have found a suitable applicant for the job. She needs a suitable outfit for work. We are looking for a suitable location for the retirement party.